Welcome to Chiropractic Orientation. Chiropractic is based on an understanding that health comes from a properly functioning nervous system. Therefore, if your nervous system is not functioning properly, there are many diseases that can occur due to the body's inability to adapt to the environment. Now, when you think of health, what do you think of? A lot of folks think of exercise and eating well and sleeping and resting and these kinds of things. And those are very important. But I'm going to suggest to you something much more important than that and oftentimes overlooked. And I'm going to call it today the foundation of health. The foundation of health. And I've placed this into an equation and wrote in some terms up here. And there's some terms that you might not understand. Let's go through them and I'll explain it. First of all, the equation. 100% intelligence plus 100% force plus 100% matter equals 100% foundation for your health. Okay? You look at intelligence here, and what do you think of? A lot of folks think of IQ and how smart somebody is. This actually is a different kind of an intelligence. And this can be said to be inborn or innate. And I believe God has created all things, and especially in living things, He's placed innate intelligence. Okay, and we can look at something as simple as a seed. The seed has no awareness of itself, doesn't know that it exists, yet I can place that seed into the ground, and it will grow a stem and leaves towards the sun. And it'll gather sunlight and carbon dioxide, and the roots will grow into the ground and collect all the elements and water and bring it all together to create health in that plant, life in that plant. Humans have the same thing. We have the same thing as well. And I believe God has placed that innate intelligence in and through our brain and nervous system. Now, this intelligence then can simply be said to be brain function. 100% force can simply be said to be messages. The brain transferring messages across the nerves. And 100% matter is simply the body. And what are some body parts and some body systems and organs? Whether the stomach, heart, lungs, muscles, joints, skin, so on and so forth, that is the body. So we can simply look at this equation as being then 100% brain function, transferring messages across the nervous system at 100% to the body systems, stomach, heart, lungs, and so on. That equals 100% foundation for health. Now, if you come over here to this schematic, let's look at this situation in a picture form, okay? First of all, what do you think the first organ system that is formed after conception? A lot of folks say it's the heart, but it actually is the brain and the nervous system, right? Now, first of all, here again is our heart, here's our stomach, and here's a muscle, okay? Scientists tell us that the weight of a dime on a nerve can decrease that nerve's ability to transfer messages across it by 40%. Now, let's go ahead and drop a couple of dimes here on our nerves. Now, if that's decreased by 40%, that only leaves us 60% potential now for life to be transferred to that body part. Now, we discussed that. We discussed earlier that health, some things that are associated with our health are eating well and exercising, correct? So let's put some really healthy food into this stomach. Let's eat all the best organic foods. Let's get the best vitamins. Let's drink the best water. Now, how much of that wonderful stuff you put in your stomach, how much of that is going to be assimilated and processed into our bodies properly? 60%, right? So let's look over this muscle. We got pressure on that muscle. Now let's work it out. Now we're going to try and get it really strong, right? Well, how much ever could that muscle possibly ever reach? What potential? 60%. That's why you go to the chiropractor. He knows that 100% life is in your brain, and that there needs to be 100% messages traveling across the nervous system to your body. But he finds pressure on the nervous system, adjusts the spine, and now restores 100% life. Now all those messages at 100% are able to travel across there and to reach the body. And that allows the body to reach 100% potential, to have 100% potential for life in that body system. Now, let's go over here to the stomach. The stomach now, let's draw some stomach cells, some nice, healthy, juicy stomach cells there, right? Now, these were healthy cells before we had pressure. And we know that those cells have to die, and they have to be replaced by other cells, right? So these ones die off, and they get replaced by other cells. Those cells aren't so healthy because they have pressure on them, and they're only getting 60% potential for life in them. Well, of course, they have to divide, and those ones divide, and so on and so forth. And they create unhealthy cells until after a while, what do you think happens? Ouch! Heartburn, or maybe even an ulcer. Not good. But if we look at this situation here, we say there's two different scenarios. The first scenario is we had pressure without pain. The second scenario is we had pressure with pain. The situation here is they both have what? Pressure on the nervous system. So pain, though it's important, doesn't determine the function of your body. Okay? So let's say we go to the chiropractor then, and we get our spine checked and our nervous system, and he finds pressure on our nervous system. He adjusts that to restore 100% now potential for life, to go from the brain to the body. And now the body now has 100% potential for life into it. And that is the foundation of health, and that is the end of our orientation.